May I have your attention? In Mandarin Chinese, Dr. F-E-N-G, Dr. Feng's name is pronounced Feng, not Feng. We've been mispronouncing it, and he's been too nice to say anything about it. Each year, 20,000 students from around the U.S. participate in the National Shakespeare Contest sponsored by the English-Speaking Union. The contest is desired to encourage high school students to develop essential skills in critical thinking, close reading, and public speaking. It increases self-confidence through the reading, analysis, and performance of Shakespeare's language. Students explore the beauty of Shakespeare's words and bring the timeless works of Shakespeare to life and learn to express his words with understanding, feeling, and clarity. The winner of the National Shakespeare Competition receives a full scholarship to the British American Drama Academy Midsummer Conservatory Program in Oxford, England. The runner-up receives a full scholarship to the American Shakespeare Center Summer Theater Camp in Staunton, Virginia. The third place finisher is awarded $500. But the prize that we are concerned with, and that the actors are competing for today, is the traditional Shakespeare Insults Mug. Today we hold the second and final round of our in-school competition. Of all the students who auditioned on January 22nd, 5 were chosen to compete for the honor of representing SAR in the New York City regional competition to be held at the end of February. About 65 high schools in this area will send a student there to compete. Last year at the New York City competition, SAR was ably represented by Tal Najman. And Tal is one of our finalists again this year. The other finalists who will present monologues today are Rebecca Shillingford. She sounds really English, doesn't she? Josh Shane. Eitan Waxman. And Kobi Lindenbaum. Judging today's competition are Ms. Amy Heller, Ms. Sarah Medved, and myself. Okay, settle down. That means you. Before we begin, let me suggest to you what you might pay attention to during the performances. First of all, is the actor's behavior truthful? A famous maxim of the method actor is that an ounce of truthful behavior is worth a pound of words. Shakespeare's English is 400 years old, so it can seem to us at times confusing or only vaguely familiar. But when an actor is clear about what they are doing, when one is obviously pleading for help, or raging with anger, or daydreaming about their love, then you in the audience understand intuitively the subtext of the language, or in other words, the emotional meaning. The actors have spent a lot of time memorizing their lines, but to play characters who come to life, they must seem as if they are making it up right on the spot. How does an actor make lines that they have already practiced numerous times seem spontaneous? The trick is to be fully committed to what one is doing in the here and now. You can't think about what you said or worry about remembering the next line. You must keep propelling yourself into the present moment, and then into the moment after that. Thus, an actor must always be in the present. This is what an actor calls working moment to moment. To illustrate this concept of working moment to moment, I'm going to perform a monologue to show you what I mean. In A Midsummer Night's Dream, Nick Bottom, a working class guy, is rehearsing in the forest with his friends to put on a play at the royal wedding of Duke Theseus of Athens and Queen Hippolyta. And Bottom, he loves to act. In fact, he wants to act out all the parts. He's a real, how do I say this in the yeshiva? He's a real ham. But there are unseen fairy spirits in the forest, and one of these puts a spell on Bottom and turns him into a donkey. When that spell is lifted, Bottom awakes out of a deep sleep and marvels at his bizarre dream. So in my concept, I've transplanted this whole play from Athens, Greece, to New York City, specifically Central Park. In this production, I imagine that the members of the court are New York glitterati in ballroom gowns and top hats and tails. And Bottom, he's just a regular working class guy from Brooklyn, if you know what I mean. He likes to use his hands a lot. He's very demonstrative, capiche?
When my cue comes, call me and I will answer. My next is most fair Pyramus.
Hey ho, Peter Quince. Flute, the bellows mender. Smoke, the tinker. Starveling? God's my life, stolen hence and left me asleep. I have had a most rare vision. I have had a dream
past the wit of man to say what dream it was? Man is but an ass if he go about to expound this dream. Me thought I was. There is no man could say what. me thought I was. And me thought I had. But man is but a patched fool if he will offer to say what me thought I had. The eye of man hath not heard. The ear of man hath not seen. Man's hand is not able to taste, his tongue to conceive, nor his heart to report what my dream was. I will get Peter Quince to write me a ballad of this dream, and I will call it Bottom's Dream, because it hath no bottom. And I will do it, I will sing it in the latter stages of the play before the Duke. Peradventure, to make it the more gracious, I will sing it at her death. Sing.
The opening monologue features Josh Shane as Romeo. Romeo has been exiled from Verona for killing a rival in a duel. He could have been executed by the ruling prince, but the prince has been merciful. You'd think Romeo would be happy to escape with his life, but all he can think of is that he will never see his love, Juliet, again.
Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog, every little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her. But Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessing from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blush, thinking their own kisses sin. Romeo may not. He is banished. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. They are free men, but I am banished. Sayest thou yet exile is not death? O friar, hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death, though ne'er so mean, but banished to kill me, banished! O friar, that damn that use that word in hell! And scene.
That's what I'm talking about. In the next monologue, in the play Othello, Iago nurses a seething hatred for Othello, the great general of Venice. Here is Eitan Waxman as Iago. Plotting his revenge against Othello the Moor.
I hate the Moor, and it is thought abroad that twixt my sheets has done my office. I know not if it be true, but I, for mere suspicion in that kind, will do as if for surety. He holds me well, the better shall my purpose work on him. Cassio's a proper man. Let me see now, to get his place, to plume up my will in double knavery. How? Let's see. After some time, to abuse Othello's ear that he is too familiar with his wife. He hath a person and a smooth disposed to be suspected, framed to make women false. The more is of a free and open nature, that thinks men honest that but seem to be so, and will as tenderly be led by the nose as asses are. I have it! 'Tis engendered hell and night! Must bring this monstrous birth to the world's light. See.
In the next monologue from Twelfth Night, Rebecca Shillingford plays Viola. Viola is a woman alone in a foreign country who disguises herself as a man for protection. Apparently, she looks quite attractive as a man. She secures a position as the Duke's messenger. And in that capacity, she must convey her master's romantic interest to the Lady Olivia. But Olivia is far more interested in the messenger than in the message.
I've left no ring with her. What means this lady? Fortune forbid my outside have not charmed her. She made good view of me. Indeed, so much methought her eyes had lost her tongue, for she did speak in starts distractedly. She loves me! Sure! The cunning of her passion invites me in this churlish messenger. None of my lord's ring, why, he sent her none. I am the man. If it be so as 'tis, poor lady, she were better love a dream. Disguise, I see thou art a wickedness wherein the pregnant enemy does much. How this Fadge? My master loves her dearly, and I, poor monster, fond as much on him, and she, mistaken, seems to dote on me. What will become of this? As I am man, my state is desperate for my master's love. But, as I am woman, what thriftless sighs shall poor Olivia breathe? Oh, time, thou must untangle this, not I. It is too hard a knot for me to untie. End scene.
For another interpretation of the banished Romeo's predicament, we will now hear from Kobi Lindenbaum, doing the same monologue that we heard earlier.
"'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing, live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies. then Romeo, they may seize on white wonder of dear Juliet's hand, and steal immortal blessings from her lips, whose even and pure and vestal modesty still blush as thinking their own kiss is sin. But Romeo may not. He is banished. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. They are freemen, but I am banished. And sayest thou yet that exile is not death? Hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death, though ne'er so mean, but banished to kill me, banished. Oh, friar, the damned use that word in hell. And scene.
Tal Najman plays Shylock. In our final monologue from The Merchant of Venice. Shylock has been the victim of anti-Semitism for years from the Christians of Venice. Shylock has consented to lend the merchant Antonio a sum of money, and if he defaults, Antonio has agreed to forfeit a pound of flesh. But is Shylock really serious about collecting this grisly debt?
He hath disgraced me and hindered me. 500,000. Laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated mine enemies, and what's his reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you in the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be? By Christian example. Why? Revenge. The villainy you teach me, I will execute, and it shall go hard. But I will better the instruction. See.
The judges will now take a few minutes to deliberate. Dr. Feng will once more serenade us with some period lute music. Please give him your attention. He's going to explain a little bit about what he's playing, and it's possible that he might need a bit more volume on this. Thank you.
Good morning. All right. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This instrument that I'm holding is called a Renaissance lute, and it's an instrument that was widely used during Shakespeare's time throughout Europe, including in England. And all the pieces that I'm playing today were composed by a British composer named John Dowland. So now I'm going to play 3 little pieces by Dowland.
I just want to take this moment again to thank Mr. Messer for all the time he devoted to working with the amazingly talented students who braved the stage, to our judges, and a special thank you to Dr. Feng for sharing the beautiful music with us.
The runner-up for our in-school competition winner is Rebecca Shillingford. And the winner of this year's competition, thou sodden-witted lord, thou hast no more brain than I have in mine elbows. I am sick to death when I look on thee. Come, you are a tedious fool. Vile worm, thou wast overlooked even in thy birth. Give it up for Kobi Lindenbaum.
It's going to be quick and short. I just want to thank Mr. Messer for working with us. Shout out to the other 4 competitors. They were all amazing. I did this for you guys. Every day I wake up and I do for you guys. For macro 12.52.
Thank you. That concludes our performance for today.